as the away team is going to allow any space for any of us. So anyway, it's kind of fun. I'm a massive football fan. Football's back in action. They play Army though. See, I'd love to go up to West Point and watch that game, but I don't know that we can get in. So that would be a cool game. So first game's next week, but they'll be on ESPN. And I know all of you that know me well will be, I'll be telling everybody what ESPN channel to watch and to watch him. He got the starting center position. So changed position, moved from a tackle to a center.
Very good.
A large child that I had. He eats a lot. I swear to God, the only reason he really wanted me to come is to feed him. Double meals. It was interesting. So, well, the rest of you all do. Hey, Jessica, welcome back. I know you were out for a little while. Let's make sure we connect this week. Hi, Tim and Sue. See, and Tim and Sue Greenberger, this call is for you. It's actually for a lot more of you. I'm just was talking to the guys before. Some of you still don't get the fast cash model. You get the appointment model, right? That I can do an ask, tell, ask, and I can make an appointment, but that's sort of the next step. You're missing the first step, which is what in your ask, tell, ask is right there and really, really quick. So I wanted to review a few things and make this about money because it's the beginning of our, I'm going to say school year. And Thomas, your kids are way too little yet. They don't even go yet, do they?
Nope, next year. So we don't have any kindergarten thing to worry about right now.
Not yet. Yeah. Well, hopefully it gets back to some sort of whatever normal is going to be. You stayed inside most of the weekend. Congrats to you and your son. I am proud mama. And I'm just reading through what else do you guys all do? We're actually are finally clearing up here. It's been amazing fires and unbelievably horrible air. In fact, a big message went out to all the schools and all the kids this morning that said, if you don't want your kid out in bad air quality, you are welcome to keep them home. So, of course, mine is a dedicated little student. She's like, oh, no, I got to go hang out with my friends. Can't stay home again. So let's talk about fast cash. I think we are live on Facebook Live on a few other channels. So fast cash, again, it's if you needed money by tonight, like you needed $100, you needed $200, you needed it by tonight. And a lot of you psychologically aren't there and you don't live your life with any sense of urgency to cash. You're used to using your credit cards. You're used to, I don't know, just not getting what you want. So I want you to start putting what you want way out in front and you're going to get it no matter what. So it's a big yes. And yes is the answer. So how do you get it? And it's the true 21st century lemonade stand. Jim Neville and I did a put more cash in your pocket for kids. And Thomas, where is that by now? So we did 3 hours. We did it the 27th, the 1st and the 3rd. So we finished it last Thursday. And it was really, I have to say, really well done and different than most of you heard. So Thomas, where is that link? Right now we're doing it for free, but we are going to make it a paid program. And a lot of it we did because Life School is a nonprofit and it needed some community service time. And because his camps and his trips were canceled, needed something to put in play to make sure that his grants and the kids are going to get educated. So this program will continue to go through his charity to, I don't know how many hundreds, if not thousands of kids all over the country and mostly underprivileged kids who probably would never have a money conversation in their life. So we did 3 hours and I wanted to bring back a few things that we talked about that was from kind of a kid's perspective and a family perspective, but it's relevant to a lot of you. And I think you're missing this initial piece of just go get fast cash. It is your lead generator. It's your database builder. And the 3 categories that Jim and I talked about were like, if you're a kid, I mean, just look at your community. Right. I mean, my daughter, goes and gets, chickens 2 doors down. One of our neighbors has a whole bunch of chickens. So $10 every time she heads over there, she gets money. That's just fast cash. She can go, there's tons of fruit being, grown around her area. She can go pick apples, peaches, plums, right. Make fast cash. You can go mow lawns. You can go help another neighbor. And adults, this is like you can do this too. You can help them, do whatever you want to do. Like our new fence is going to be put up. I can promise you he'll recruit a whole bunch of farmers and neighbors around and pay them for cash. So some of you like right around your community and you could get fast cash. We call it community cash. And then the other one is just trading time. Now, if trading time was your only way you made money, that would totally suck. It's the wrong business model. But you could just do some quick trade time. And tutoring is like golden right now, because who's getting left behind in the system? I don't care how good the schools are trying to fix it. The gifted and talented and the special needs kids, the outside of the bell curve, are getting left behind. They're super bored or they're stretched to keep up. And they're barely getting through, just getting the middle of the bell curve. So trading time, anything that you know that you can help, some bilingual skills to bilingual editing to you name it, music, art, whatever you want to do. And then the third that I want you to think about is just going online. And Jim and his wife had some really good ideas on eBay and using Poshmark and a few others, whatever. They're actually going to Goodwill, and whatever Poshmark, actually gives you the price of what's being sold. Or in Canada, it's Kijiji. And you literally, if you can buy it cheaper and make a margin, you can put stuff online. So there are so many fast ways. And now those are really simple ones. And some of you, like Jessica, you've got like a bigger item, right? But you could do a LinkedIn, like, quick $20 review. And I know a lot of you don't like that. Sue, same thing. You could do, a COVID cleaning review. You could just do a very quick, they could FaceTime you, show you what kind of products they're using in their house. Most of them are probably hugely contaminating and they think they're disinfectant. So a lot of you, you're avoiding that initial sale. You don't like it because you want more money for that work. This is a database builder. So those are just some new ideas. Thomas, Adam, what do you guys want to add in? Because especially you guys, you coach it with me all the time. And some of you, you're missing this database build. You're going for the 100, 200, 500, and you'll get it with an appointment, but we want you to get fast cash in today.
I'll let you go first, Adam.
All right, thanks. I think for the people I'm talking to and within the community and with my private clients, I don't know how to say this nicely, but most people don't listen. Like, they're not listening to what people are telling them. Every day, every one of you listening and every one of us gets a phone call of somebody saying, hey, I had a question about, insert your talent here, right? People be like, I'll be talking to them about their weekend and what they're doing. And they'll be like, hey, I had a question, my business is, or they're saying, I'm just struggling here. I was working all weekend. I think Sherry was working on doing her own taxes. Right? She posted in the chat. There's a lot of people doing those things, and they ask you a question and we instinctively give the answer. We're like, oh, all you need to do is A, B, and C. I'm a victim of it all the time. When my wife hears me, she literally throws stuff from across the room at me to get my attention because I instinctively give them the answer to what they're asking. Right. And I have people all the time, because I have a podcast, be like, hey, I've got this podcast. What's the best way to get guests? I've got two options. I've got, there's this website, that website, or go through your phone and see people who have a talent that you'd like to display, or someone who you want to get into their network. That's option one. Option two is happy to tell you, we could do it quick and dirty. I typically charge like $250 an hour, but I think we can do this in like 10 minutes. Venmo me like $25 and I'll give you the three things you should do right now. And then we can figure out if we need to go deeper, if I can train you. So we're all doing that daily, is giving our stuff for free when someone would gladly pay for it. I had someone call me who's in a mastermind group. And we have a very nebulous mastermind group through a local Phoenix community. We never really talked about the business aspect of it. Like, we do business together or do we not? And what does the money look like? I gave her the information because I did it under the mastermind concept. And we were done. She's like, I was waiting for you to charge me. Right? She masterminded it. I gave her free shit. And then she masterminded and said, you should have asked me for money. So I would encourage you all just to listen to what people are saying. They're going to tell you where their problem lies, right? We can do the form model, family, occupation, recreation, money. That comes up in every conversation that you have. Yep. If it's, my kids are freaking out because they're bored, they don't know what to do, they're doing their homework, but their teachers aren't available. Maybe you know a tutor, maybe you are a tutor. Occupation, they're struggling for work, they're struggling for money. Recreation, they don't know what to do with themselves. So you can sit with them and say, hey, here's 5 things you can do with your family that I'm training other people. My family's doing all of those things. You can charge fast cash for. So listen to what people are saying. That's their problem. And people will always pay money to fix their problems.
Mhm.
Always. And don't assume, I think a lot of you women assume that, well, it's on the internet. So, it's already out there. Somebody else has already answered it. Consolidating information into a new bundle of information and selling it is brilliant, and it saves people tons of time. And I think there's too many assumptions. First of all, I mean, whatever's online, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's not even accurate. So God forbid what's even out there. So, do the due diligence, do the homework. I look at some of the folks that are in nutrition, right? They're doing recipes specifically taking any allergies out. So you can send a recipe that you love, and they'll repurpose the recipe for 25 to $40 as the current model, and doing well, like taking out any gluten, peanuts, whatever, like whatever your allergies are, they will repurpose the recipe that you can still make it nice, tasty, blah, 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 and just give you new items to make it with. So lots of easy, fast stuff that normally, she's a client, and she normally used to say, well, they could find it on the internet. I said, do it for them. They will pay you for the time. They don't want to do it. And they don't know that it's been valid. That's the other thing too. For a lot of you, I look at, well, again, I was mentioning to some of you, actually Jason's out there too. So same with like insurance. People have like the good, the bad, the ugly, totally wrong information about insurance. Jessica, same with LinkedIn. Sherry, same with bookkeeping. So by you qualifying and repurposing the information out there and putting it into a report, more sophisticated, a white paper, you're going to get more people to buy it, because they don't want to do the work. They don't know if they did do the work and ran and roamed around out on the internet, if it's actually accurate or not. Like back to the nutrition, many of you have met Lindsay, I'm talking about her, is whether it tastes good. It's been tried or true, right? So there's a lot of different examples of stop giving your shit away for free.
Exactly.
Yeah. And some of you are thinking, what's $20? Like, it's more of a pain for me to ask someone for $20 and disturb the friendship, quote unquote, than it is worth my time.
Mhm.
But think about this, going back to the nutrition and cooking, right? There are a lot of people out at the beginning of COVID out on the internet, like cooking their dinner online, and people would watch.
Yep.
Well, you can do that, and in your little name thing on Zoom, put your Venmo, or reach out to 20 people that you know and be like, hey, I'm going to do a gluten-free cooking from the store to the refrigerator to the prep table to the cooking to the done. Some of that you'll obviously record earlier, and then you do the live when you cook it. $20 doesn't sound like a lot of money, but 200 for 10 people or 400 for 20 people becomes a lot more interesting.
Mhm.
Right? A lot more interesting. And $20 is nothing for people. But if you get 400 because one person's willing to give you 20 times 20, that changes everything. And so look at what's around you, right? Not only taking those examples, but look at what Loral's done. Now, a lot of you are saying, well, I'm not Loral. Well, Loral wasn't Loral until she started doing it, right? And it would be like, hey, come to our old model free event, coming to a paid event, coming to 3-day, coming to Big Table, right? All those steps. Well, then it's like, well, we can't do that. So now we're going online. Well, here it is. Come to my afternoon, noon, every day. What we were doing for the first 2 months of this, or at least the first month, like clockwork, and then invite people to something for $97. Loral doesn't do this stuff for $97, but when there's 150 people in the room, whole lot more interesting for the room and for her. So don't think you can't do it. Loral's got a bigger database. You all have a database. You have 300, 500, 1,000, 5,000 people in your phone. You've got people on LinkedIn. You've got people in your email. And if you can get 10 or 20 or 30 people to give you $10, $20, $100 for your time for something they're already interested in, that becomes real money. And if you're going to say, well, what if they don't want to do it? Well, who cares if they don't want to do it? If they don't want to give you $100 for this, maybe they'll give you $100 for something else. So look at what other people are doing and what you're spending your personal money on, and say, okay, I can do that and I'll try it. If you do it and you set up a thing and no one shows up, well, then you don't have to be embarrassed, because there was no one there to be embarrassed in front of. If people do show up, even better. Then ask them, why did you show up? What was compelling? What can we do differently? What can I do that's the next step for you? And that's how you build your funnel into it. So stair step into it by looking what other people are doing, and multiple people make the money a whole lot more interesting for you.
Yep. And
There's a value to paying. I don't care if it's a little bit of money. People like just the exchange of money creates the value. Just to your point, Adam, I mean, just to do a Venmo, just to do something small, it's like if I spent that much time to do it, I'm going to use whatever I bought. So the utilization is going to be higher as well.
Yep. I've got my cousin is a DJ, right? He does weddings, charges $1,500 to DJ a wedding or whatever it is. 500 of that goes to expenses and gas and all the stuff he needs to do. He pockets $1,000, does a couple of weddings a month during the summer season, and that supplements his income from his traditional job. Well, weddings are gone. He's got no money. But every Friday night, he figured out he goes on Facebook and he does an event, and he plays music until he's using too much bandwidth and Facebook kicks him off, and then he kicks off another Facebook Live. And in there, he doesn't say, hey, give me money for this, but he has his Venmo and his PayPal, and he just puts it out there, and people go on, and some people give him $5, some people give him $100, depending on what they have in their pocket. But he gets 150 people over the course of a 3-hour show that he's doing. And 20, 30, 40 of those people are giving him some money. He's stuck home on a Friday night. He might as well make $200 or $300. You do that 4 times. That's 1 or 2 weddings worth of money, and he doesn't have to leave his house. And otherwise, he'd be watching TV and drinking or whatever you do at your house on a Friday night that when you can't leave, right? That's his skill. And he just said, hey, people give me money for it. He's not asking for it. He's just giving them an opportunity. And we're not even doing that for most of us.
And one of the things I want to say out there to all the coaches or the professionals out there, having that book, right, is one of the most important things you can also use for quick cash, right? It takes a while to build, but it is better than a business card. It gives you that market leading authority that people look for. And it's something that you can use very easily to establish yourself as the person that people want to work with. Doesn't have to be a book, though. You can have a decent tripwire type content piece, as Adam was saying. You can come up with something fairly quickly that you can sell and the important part is knowing how much you can assign to the value into the book itself, right? Or the lead magnet, right? If you use my 10-step quiz on how bad your website is, you can save yourself thousands of dollars, right? And you're essentially helping to sell it by saying, $10, I'll show you save $1,000, right? That's a very easy way to help sell it too, especially in the quick cash side of things. When you're just looking to help them out on a real quick and super simple level, like Loral talks about at the event, where it's like that end cap item at the grocery store, right? You're not selling the main thing. You're not selling the huge ticket right there. You're selling the stick of gum or the pack of gum, the water, the brush, the whatever it may be, to get them started and get them going, right? So think about, your book, your video, your lead magnet, whatever it may be, as that end cap, something super simple, get the conversation started, and then have the monetization plan on the back end of it.
Well, and once you have a piece of work, I think a lot of people that watch the Raymond Aaron recording that we did, we have a lot of books happening in the community right now because I'm forwarding a whole bunch. Thomas, starting tomorrow morning, we have a whole bunch of those coming our way. But once you have it, just like this was something totally that Jim and I took. I mean, this book was produced in 2009, and we just took a spin of this with Jim's background in being a, kid educator. And, really he's done basically what life school is, this outward bound for kids, teaching life skills. So we just took, how do you teach the money skills, repurpose it into 3 different hours, said, put more cash for kids and family. And there you go. So again, Thomas put the link up if you want to go get it.
Yep.
All of you, I could name every one of you needs to get it. It's just a little different spin because you haven't heard from Jim Neville in a very long time. He's been around since table 6. I've known him since 1996, and just been around my work. So super fun to just repurpose and redo this with him. So it's, again, all of you, like once you could create a body of work, just keep doing it differently and different spins to get more people. So our challenge to you is go out and make some fast cash today, and report back to us that you actually have, report back to your coach, report back to the Millionaires in Training group, which is where all of you should be members of that, as well as a lot of you that are here today are Big Table. So also post it in our Big Table group. Anything else, guys? I just, go out and do it. I just say, I keep, telling you and telling you and telling you, you can all do it. You just gotta, adjust how you're doing it.
And here's a little exercise that everyone can do, regardless of if you've got a business, if you've got a product, or if you have a corporate job. Even in a corporate job, you have clients. It could be your coworkers are your clients. It could be your bosses are your clients. So just think about what your skill is and what you do every day. And here's the exercise that will create a product for you. 5 questions. What do your clients ask you for? Right? They ask you, and I'll use Sherry just because accounting as a concept is easy, as a talent it's not. But when can I get my taxes done? What should I be writing off? What do you need? How can you help me? And it's April 14th. What do I do now? Like, let's say those are the 5 questions that you ask your accountant. So now those 5 things can be an email series. It can be an ebook. It can be a video series. Then switch it up and say, what are the 5 questions my clients or prospects should be asking me? Mm-hmm. Right? We know what they are asking you. What should they be asking you? And now you've got 5 more things. That's 10 chapters of a book right there. Because for all of us, the things our people are asking us for are not what they should be asking us for. So you've got 10 different topics. That's 10 emails. That's 10 videos. That's 10 chapters in a book. That's a whole book. You put a front end on it. You put a back end on, here's what I'm going to tell you. Here are my 10 chapters. Here are what I just told you. Now you've got a book. Bless you. Now you've got it. And if you are the receptionist for a large company, if you're in sales for a large company, if you've got your own business, you have those 5 questions that they do and 5 questions they should. That's a product that people will pay for right now. And those are Facebook Lives. And you know what? You go and do a Facebook Live. If 4 people tune in and you get 8 views over a 2-day period, well, that wasn't a very compelling topic for your audience. Doesn't make it bad. People will still see it and they'll be like, wow, that's cool that Steve's doing that or that Adam's doing that. And the next day, do something different. Maybe do a different spin on it. And who cares? Put it out there. What, are people going to defriend you and not be your friend because you're talking live on Facebook?
Right.
That's not true. They're jealous of you if you do it. Flat out, they're jealous of you for doing it because they're too scared to do it. So don't have any fear about it and put it out there. Yeah. And somebody is going to reach out to you and be like, that changed my life. Yeah. Guaranteed. Are we allowed to say guaranteed live on Facebook? I don't think we can.
Adam,
almost guaranteed.
Adam, at the event, you have a story that you talk about. I want to kind of throw it to that for a second, but I do want to make the point that when you're making quick cash, making fast cash, doesn't necessarily have to be within necessarily your wheelhouse even, right? Because if you don't have a book, it does take time to produce a book. I get it. But there are times when opportunity will present itself for you to make quick cash that you can take advantage of. So Adam, remember the story you had about the guy who needed to buy the yacht?
Yep.
That's the thought that I was thinking about there.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the listening. And I'll tell the story. It's a fascinating, true story. And a guy I know worth $100 million plus and got really destructive. He thought he was indestructible. Had so much money, he thought he was king of the world, and he started treating people like crap. He treated his spouse like crap, treated his clients like crap. He was a big deal, drinking all the time, going out, doing drugs, doing all the destructive stuff because he made so much money. He was like sick of himself. And so he went into destructive phase. Eventually, like literally had to file bankruptcy, almost lost his family. And as he went into bankruptcy, lost everything but his house pretty much, and finally had this epiphany of, I was being a terrible person. Why was I doing that? And found gratitude in his life. Some people find other things, whether it's religion, whether it's spirituality. He found gratitude. He wasn't grateful for all this money, but he realized once he lost everything, he was grateful for his family, and that his family stuck with him and worked with him through this. And he said, all right, how can I bring gratitude to the rest of the world? Because he still had all these rich friends that didn't know what was going on because he was doing it in the background like a lot of people do when they go through financial troubles. And he said, you know what? I'm going to bring goodness to other people. And that's how I'm going to give back, and we'll see where it goes. And so he started reaching out to all of his friends. And he said this one question. He said, is there anything you need I might be able to help with? He didn't say, I've got this new network marketing product, or I've got this pill that you're going to take and you're going to lose 20 pounds and you're going to get 6 inches taller. He just said, is there anything you need I might be able to help out with? And one guy said, well, I don't know if it's a need, but I want to buy a yacht. I don't think that you can help me. And he said, well, let's find out. What do you want? And he's like, I want a yacht, and I want this many rooms to sleep in, and I want this size, and I want these whatever features on it, and I want a $10 million yacht, but I don't want to pay $10 million for it. The most I'll pay is $9 million cash, but I want at least a $10 million yacht. So my friend Dave was like, all right, let me see what I can do. He had nothing else going on. And so he started calling up yacht brokers. He started calling up some of his other rich friends and says, you know anyone trying to sell a yacht? And he went and found a guy who was having some of his own financial challenges of his own and had a yacht that he needed to get rid of. And he said, I have this yacht. So, hey, let me come take a look at it. So he goes and checks it out. It's got all the features that he wants for it. And the guy said, I want, $8.5, $9 million, and it's yours. And Dave said, if I can get you $8 million cash within, 10 days or whatever the time period was, will you take $8 million for the yacht? And the guy said, I'll take $8 million within the next week, but I don't want the guy coming in and he can't nickel and dime me on it. I don't want him bringing his whole family on the yacht to check it out. I want this simple and easy, and I'll discount it to $8 million because I need to get rid of it. Goes to the guy and says, hey, I think I found you a yacht. It meets all these specifications. We're going to get a really good deal on it. So you can only see it once. It's appraised for $10 million as of last week. I've got the appraisal in my hand. The guy will take $9 million for it cash at the end of the week. The guy said, all right, went, toured the yacht, said, I can buy a $10 million yacht and essentially put $1 million in my pocket at the same time. I'll buy the yacht, buys the yacht for $9 million. Dave gives $8 million to the guy who was selling it, puts $1 million in his pocket. Within a week of finalizing his bankruptcy, and all he had was his house and his wife and kids. His cars were gone, his bank accounts were gone, his business was gone. He had a house, his wife, and $1 million in the bank 1 week after finalizing his bankruptcy. Totally true story.
Yep.
If you find, you can probably Google it. I'm not going to give you his name. You can go track him down. It's a true story that happened. And Loral knows the guy, and that is listening. Mm-hmm. All he did was say, hey, what do you need? Call up anybody you know in your phone when you're talking on the phone later to a buddy or to a coworker and be like, hey, is there anything you need I might be able to help out with? Right. Most people will say, no, I can't think of anything. Well, all right, well, if you do, whether that's cleaning your house or whether that's something bigger, I'm here for you. Just let me know. Maybe I know someone that can help you out with it. Right. Everybody has a need. Everybody has a need.
Right.
Someone's going to say, I need this, and you're going to be able to fill that. Right. Whether it's you doing it or whether it's saying, I haven't told anybody, but I think my company's going out of business and I'm going to be out of a job. Well, hey, come to this event September 14th, 15th, 16th, or sorry, 15, 16, 17, 16, 17, 18.
16, 17, 18. Come make some money.
Right. It's $97. We're going to make you your $97 back, plus because we're going to show you how to do it. And maybe you don't need to go get another job. Well, you're going to get a benefit from that. They're going to get a win because they're going to learn how to make money, and who knows where it's going to go, right? It's that simple. Just ask people what they need.
Right.
Well, and the other thing too, and a lot of you have, I mean, that are out here today, is be an affiliate. If you don't have something that's to sell, or even if you have a job or something else, always add on what you know other people need. I mean, there isn't a person that had, that I should say, any integrity to their conversation that wouldn't be interested in what to do with money right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some angle about money that people need to know about. They need to know about digital currency. They need to know that you can now put it through your Roth, like legally through the IRS and SEC. It's all been, compliant. That you might overpay taxes. Taxes are due for anybody that actually is living our lifestyle that we teach. You're doing taxes like right now within this week, September 15th and October 15th. So it is right now. You might need to buy some gas and oil to reduce your taxes to nothing. I mean, there are so many questions that people have that you can bring to us. And I mean, we're writing more and more affiliate checks on a regular basis to people who just say, hey, you need to know money. I'm not, I don't do that, but I know somebody who does, and be the affiliate, be that connector. The other thing that other people have been doing for me, which is interesting, a lot of our speakers that were very offline and couldn't either figure out how to get online or just didn't have a team to get online. They've been putting me on summits, and then they take a % of what I sell on the summit. So it's like a super affiliate. It's like a Stage Summit Connector affiliate. So I have people who are doing that for me saying, hey, Laura would have been great on that summit. So, I mean, people need a lot of things that you just naturally consume.
Right.
And how can you make money on it? And I think a lot of you don't think that way. You're not thinking in terms of, I need to make money. I mean, doing a lot of things, like think about the amount of things that you do that you're never paid for. And it isn't about the greed part of it. I know some of you get that weird thing. Well, I really make money on everything. It's like, well, what's your time worth? See, a lot of you are really still employee thinkers, because you're still in a consuming, like your money is enough because it comes in a paycheck. So making extra money isn't really urgent for you at this point. And then with unemployment being how ridiculous it is right now, you don't have to get that urgent either. So somewhere inside your own dialogue or inside what you really want, you've got to be the one to create that urgency. And we've got a lot of people that were in Boise. I mean, their urgency came with, they want to go do a construction loan. They now want to they got really involved in seeing all the different kinds of, investment opportunities and deals. Like there's so many deals in your community. I mean, I don't know how many of you are driving by strip malls right now. They are going down in droves. I mean, the stores shutting. I swear to God, those are going to be, you should go look at them. You say, oh, I've never bought a strip mall. You should put your hat in the ring for them. They're going to become great residential assisted living facilities. So yeah, you got to do some rehab. You're going to have to raise some capital, but why not? Somebody's going to buy it. Somebody's going to buy it dirt cheap and think they're going to sit on it and have a lot of holding costs. And eventually, we're going to get through this and they're going to bring it back into a mall. I'd look at what's around in your market, and is a residential assisted living facility or something like it necessary, and is that a better rehab? So there's so many deals going on right now. So get motivated to make money to go buy more stuff. Some of you are not investment or asset oriented either, meaning you're used to making it, spend it, make it, spend it, make it, spend it. I won't name you, but you are out there on this call. I won't name your name, but I know you're there. Well, because you're in that pattern of make it, spend it versus make it, invest it. So this is that time. I mean, we're 6 months into this, whatever this, life is called. But yeah.
And there's two things that I want you all to think about. The first one is, all of you are getting emails on a daily basis that you are deleting, that it was somebody's course that you signed up for, or you got on some list and it's somebody's like, come to my webinar, come to my event, join my community, doing whatever it is. And instinctively, you're just deleting them.
Yeah.
Right? So I would encourage you to take 2 minutes and, instead of deleting it, just read it. What are they saying? Get out of your head that they're trying to sell you something and they're inviting you to a webinar where they're going to tease you and then they're going to sell you something. Get that out of your head and say, what does this email say? What are they doing? That's number one. And we've got time. So instead of watching reruns of Magnum or whatever, go to their webinar, listen to it, hear what they have to say, right? It's free and you're going to learn something. And if it's a valuable thing that you can make money on, great. But more importantly, there are going to be other people in there. You're going to learn something. You're going to see how they do their webinar, and it's something that you can model and do for yourself. So don't just instinctively delete those emails and be like, oh, so-and-so is trying to sell me something again. Well, of course they are. That's how they run their business. That's how they make money, but use it to your advantage. So that's one thing. Don't delete those emails. Actually read them and see how you can benefit from it. Change your thinking. And here's the other thing that none of us do enough, except maybe Loral. And maybe Loral doesn't do it as much as she used to. Is I'm been in a mastermind group as part within the community for a couple years with the Cresses, with Julie Evans in Australia, with Amanda Stakes out in Ohio. And we get together every 2 weeks. And one thing we were doing for a couple years was helping each other think through the opportunities going on in their life, right? And we'd be like, well, did you think about this? Did you ask this question? Would you consider that, right? That's the benefit of the mastermind. But what we did in the last few months is we said, all right, instead of just asking you, if you ask the right questions, giving advice, we said, why don't we all look at the deal?
Yeah.
Just for research, because some of you are going to say, I don't have any money, I can't invest in anything. Well, the reason you can't invest in anything is because you haven't looked at enough deals to find one that you see profit in, that you can go raise money, right? Because Loral says, go look at strip malls and then raise money. And some of you are like, well, I don't have money, I don't know anyone with money, I don't know how to raise money. Well, if you looked at the deal and you analyzed it just from an education perspective, you're going to be the first one, you're not going to know what you're doing. The second one, you're not going to know a whole lot more, but you're going to find all the things that are wrong with it. Deals 3, 4, 5 through 100, all of a sudden you're going to begin to see the opportunities in them. And you're going to be like, oh, I get it. I can do this. Now you can bring it to the community and say, hey, mastermind group that I'm a part of that maybe you didn't, take advantage of, or hey, Loral, Damon, team, are there any mastermind groups that need another big table member that maybe I can join into one that's been successful? And you can bring it to that group and say, hey, what am I missing here? But what it does is it educates you so you know what to look for. Most of us don't know what to look for because we've never looked at a deal before. You don't go look at a deal to buy a house. You look at a deal to find out if there's profit and opportunity as a worthwhile investment. And most of them, you know what? There is an opportunity there. It's just not there. It's too skinny, or there's too much work that needs to be done, or the person wants too much money, or it's in a bad neighborhood. And so most deals you're not going to do, and they're not great business opportunities. But 1 out of 10 is, and how are you going to know what that one is if you don't research? So take this time to look at deals from an education standpoint. And it's something that we started doing in our mastermind group, and it changed our perspective. Now we come to those conversations with, here's what I like, here's what I didn't like, rather than, Thomas, have you considered asking this question? Very different perspective and knowledge base for all of us on that group.
Yep, absolutely critical. Because you've got to get motivated either by the fact you want to be an entrepreneur and grow your business, or if that seems daunting, you want to be an entrepreneur and make enough money to go buy the deals. But again, if you're not looking at deals and in deal conversations, you'll just always be in that position of I can't afford it and I can't. And the only way I know to break the pattern of make it, spend it, make it, spend it, make it, spend it is you got to get, exactly like Adam said, in a mastermind around a group of people who don't do it that way. Like wouldn't even, it's just odd. That is such an odd pattern. It's always make it, invest it, which is pay yourself first. And you've got to break that pattern. And a lot of you've used Flipped very well, or you started using Flip, but you're not funding it every week, or, for every little bit of money you make, you put it in Flip, and now, or put it into your, fund your Roth or your solo, and then use that. You can buy now gold, Bitcoin, Flip. You can do a variety of what I call simple things to get your cash away from your spending habits. And that's really the biggest part for a lot of you. You keep spending and you're not putting enough money away. And I don't care if it's a small amount of money, it's the behavior and the pattern we got to break. Right. So to that point, October is right around the corner.
Yep.
So October 11, 12, and 13 is our next table in Kansas City, and you have no excuse but to be there. We are going to have some limits on the room, and a bunch of people are coming back from Boise. So if you are coming, make sure Damon and Jordan know. So email them, Thomas, if you want to put Damon and Jordan's email in, just email them, confirm you have a ticket. We are confirming the hotel room within the next, say, 48 hours. And we will have a great hotel room close to the plaza. It won't be on the plaza, but email them, say, I am coming, and make sure you reserve a spot. And we will be going over deals and deals and deals and deals and deals. So a lot of you, you're not around that pattern in that conversation. And a lot of that October table and real estate tour, the 11th and 12th will be the tour. And then the 12th and 13th will be shifting, and it'll be more into the evening will be the part of the table. So really most people are coming for the whole 3 days. We'll start around, I think we have it around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock on 11th. So you can come in or fly in the morning and then be there the 11th, 12th, 13th, fly home on the 14th. Do not fly home the night of 13th. We won't be done until late, at least 6, probably o'clocks. And what else? So there's the link. Make sure that's a big one. And if you don't come then, and I can tell you there's nothing, there's no replacement from seeing each other physically and being together, and that camaraderie and that connection, especially with mastermind groups. So do everything you can to get there in October, because otherwise we won't see you until March. Our next live table is not until the end of March. That's a long time. I mean, it's damn near half a year before you are going to have some new insertion of energy and commitment, and just commitment to others that you want to mastermind and be with. We will be doing a table in December, January. So I don't know if Adam, you heard the dates, but December 17th, all day. We'll be doing an all day table online, kind of completing 2020, putting you through your checklist, making sure you're planning when what you really need to get done is done. And then on January 7th, we'll be doing another day of making sure 2021 is set and prepared. And we should have a lot more visibility of what your world and our business world is going to look like by then. So October, get there. And those of you in our Texas markets, Chicago markets, New York, Canada, yes, you're going to have to quarantine, but you know what? That's a business choice. So you're mostly online anyway, most of you. So come home and you can quarantine like this. Many people quarantine like this and still make money. And you are right. It is way too long. You've got to get out there and be there. So yes, the early table has been canceled for quite a while. What we did is instead of having you fly in October and November, we moved the November Reno into October. So because it was going to be an October tour and a November table. And we were hearing from a lot of people, they didn't want to go out 3 times, August, October, November. So we put them together. It is now only in Kansas. So November is canceled, has been for quite a while. Yes. So we merged them. I just canceled them, we merged them. So make sure you get out, and if you have payments to make or whatever you need to do to get yourself there, just make it important. You know, you decide what's important for you in your life. But I can tell you right now, waiting until March, it's a long time and a lot of missed opportunity to understand what this community is really about. Those of you on the fast track right now, again, September 16th, that's coming in actually next week, isn't it? My gosh. Yep. Next Wednesday night, we start with the expert panel. This will be the last of this kind of marketplace. We've been doing this since April. We're going to condense it based on a lot of feedback. And we're going to be doing it as more of a regular practice. You're going to see more marketplaces throughout the month. You're going to see more inclusion of a lot more people throughout the month. And we're going to ship the model up, give it a go. So this is the last one of this kind, where you will be here the Sunday the 16th, all day 17th, 18th. Sell through the weekend, and then on the 21st, we'll be doing a calculation of who wins the September last marketplace of this kind. So, Thomas, if you want to put up that link.
Sure.
You have not come before, you are welcome to come. If you have come, which many of you have, your graduate marketplace will be on October 2nd, and that will be part of a blend of the way we're going to be doing it as a normal course of business. And every week, we're going to be doing more and more to help you make money, because that is a commitment. Make it, invest, make invested. You get that pattern right in 2020, at least something got done, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I want to come back to the education piece and the deals piece and analyzing deals. Laurel's going to smack me for saying this, but it's true. There are some of you out there that are waiting for this to get done so you can go and get another job, right? You're thinking to yourself, yeah, and then a job's going to come and it's going to be offered and you're going to jump at it because the economy hopefully will be coming back and you're going to take a job. which is fine, right? We're not against jobs here. We'd rather have you do other things in conjunction with your job, but we get some of you
Right.
from a financial standpoint will need a job. But if you use this time to investigate and analyze deals, wherever they come from, even if it's a past deal, come to After Hours next week, and there are going to be deals that are already funded, whether it's, I don't know if John Howard's dealership's already totally funded or if it's done. If it's done,
profitable. You missed it. We
But-
make money.
but it's probably, but here's the thing. It's a done deal that people invested in is making money. Now he's got a little bit more freedom in order to show you the marketing materials and the paperwork and the PPM and stuff on the back end if you're not accredited.
Yep.
Right? Because it's not a deal anymore. Now you can analyze it. Here's where it comes back to the job. If you analyze it, when it comes time and the economy opens up a little bit and you get offered a job, you're going to look at that opportunity a little bit differently. Can you negotiate a better salary? Can you get a little bit more time off? Because you're now looking at opportunity in a different way because you're analyzing deals, you're going to look at that job as a deal. How would you take it? Are you going to take it just because it's money? Or are you going to see the flaws in it and the holes in it and what you need to change in order for it to be right from you? So keep looking at deals, not only for what to invest in, but how do you look at a job opportunity in a different way and make it more beneficial for you? Like, we want you to learn all these skills that we're teaching you so you're not beholden to a desk and to somebody else giving you a paycheck. But all of us have money needs. And if you need a job, how can you look at that job better? How can you make that offer better for you before you say yes? And analyzing deals, current ones or past ones, is going to help you because those people, their offer is like anybody else's offer. It's, hey, here's what I'm offering. Does this work for you? And the answer is like, not that way, but if you do this, it will.
Yep.
And if they want you, they're going to give it to you and they're going to take it. So just think about everything a little bit differently, even job opportunities.
Absolutely. And, you know, you said there's always another deal. There is another deal, but I'll tell you, some of the deals are very scarce and they're hard to find and you can't do them alone. And in fact, if you really follow our model, you aren't doing hardly any of this alone. So in real estate, yes, I would say there's always going to be deals. Not like this Ford dealership. I can tell you, those are rough. These are, I mean, they're difficult to find, hard to find. So, you just always want to be paying attention, and I think that's really the biggest thing is
exactly.
pay attention.
It's all about paying attention because you don't know where the opportunity is going to come from, and it may not be a situation that it's originally going to your plan. And the more you're flexible, the more likely you're able to make that either that fast cash or that big deal, right? So whether you can ask someone what they need help with for a quick, trade of time to generate some quick cash, or to help sell a yacht, if you're listening and you're saying yes and figuring out how, as some wise people suggested before, you can certainly have the opportunity to create the cash that you're looking to create.
Yep.
All right.
Last thing, ask yourself why. If you're going to, Pier 1 just went out of business, I think, as of the end of the month. And I don't know if everyone knows where Pier 1, they sell expensive, placemats and whatnot. Anyhow, they went out of business. And a lot of people, there was like a line outside of Pier 1 because they only let like 10 people in the store. And there was a line of people going to get great deals on stuff. I bet none of those people sat back and said, all right, why did Pier 1 go out of business, but Target and Walmart are having record? Target made more money last quarter than in any quarter in the history of Target, including all of the boom times.
Yep.
Right? Why is Pier 1 going out of business, but Target is flourishing? Right? Ask the question why. You go to the restaurant and your favorite restaurant's closing. Why are they closing? What did they do wrong? What can I learn from? Because that why becomes an opportunity. So yes, go to your friend's restaurant on the day it's closing, support them, and have fun. But ask why. That why will lead you to amazing questions of, what can I have done differently? What should I be doing differently? How can I capitalize on it?
And what should I be thinking about? What conversation?
Yeah.
What conversations should I be in? I mean, there's just a common sense of why, again, great obvious question. A lot of you don't know the answer, which is where the learning and the depth of the learning comes in. One more announcement I just thought of I need to make, because we have just shifted. Our laser calls are now on Zoom, on After Hour styles. and they're every Tuesday at 4 o'clock. So those of you that are at the table, rejoin us. We're going to send out that link. Thomas, if you're going to have to email Damon and Jordan to get it. And we'll join you at 4 o'clock. That's in 3 hours. And again, it's asking questions. It's wide open questions. And there will be the Hawthorne Marijuana Project will be there today. And John will be there. John, like you said, John can talk now about, awesome. I think he can come. Good. So I'm just, bringing more and more people to that call for the big table, because that's where your depth of learning about, I'm going to say, assets, your money rules, asking questions, hearing what other people are asking. A lot of times you don't know what to ask because you aren't educated enough yet. And you start being on these laser calls and the questions start, spurring other questions about what you really need to be asking about. So super cool. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate you being out there. Go make some money. Reset your pattern. We're September, folks. We are down to, you're going to start hearing me say as of October, we're heading to the finish line. 90 days seems like it's really fast, but when you really get to it, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do, from making sure your entity's right, your trust's right, your insurance is right, your Horizon accounts or your self-directed IRA accounts, your flip accounts. Like, you've got some stuff to do, and some of this paperwork takes time in the midst of everything else you have to do to make some fast cash. So stage it in throughout your day and get the process. So just keep working on it. Thanks, Adam, for jumping on at the last minute. Thanks, Thomas. And again, this is our first week of only Tuesday broadcasts. We'll be broadcasting throughout the week, just more sporadically, randomly, and when topics are necessary. But our formal broadcasts are now going to be just Tuesdays at noon, and then straight to the laser call at 4 o'clock. So we will talk to you, all of you in the big table, in about 3 hours. Take care.
Bye.